The gulags were run under dictator Joseph Stalin and were a series of camps such as labor camps and more.
These camps caused millions of deaths and famine due to filthy conditions, and people were often sent to the camps even if they were innocent. During the period of time that the Gulag was active, many deaths occurred due to many reasons. An estimated 1.6 million died in the camps, although the real number could be much higher. This is because authorities within the camps could find ways to hide many deaths. One way they would do so is by getting rid of prisoners who were dangerously close to death and letting them die on their own outside of the camps. This way, the authorities never really marked down their deaths. They technically didn't die physically within the camps, though the camps were the cause of death. Due to this fact, there are probably a large amount of graves that are unmarked out near the camps that will not be discovered. Overall, by the time World War II had ended, there were about 5.5 million people in the camps, with 23% Ukrainian people and 6% Baltic people.
The gulags were not only located in Russia, but they were also in Serbia and China, but mostly Russia. Most gulags were located in northeast Russia. Some locations of the northeast include Moscow, Murmansk, Perm, Kazan, Magadan, Sverdlovsk, and Leningrad. Each location had a different punishment.
In the Gulag camps, life was not pleasant. In fact, life was miserable for many. The living conditions of the camps were absolutely horrible and caused many deaths. The camps themselves were unsanitary, disease infested, and grimy. There was no heating in the barracks, which was where the prisoners slept, and no space for them to move around. Starvation was common in the camps, as no one got a sufficient amount of food to sustain themselves. Besides the filthy living conditions, there was more danger. Not only would a prisoner have to survive through the camps, he had to survive the people in the camps. Violence was extreme in the camps. Prisoners would fight to the death over food, water, clothes, etc. Anything to get by on would be worth fighting for. Also, the prisoners had to endure heavy labor and horrible weather. For camps like those in Siberia, freezing to death while on the job was not unusual. People died every day in mass amounts due to these conditions. But one of the worst things the prisoners had to endure was the treatment from the prison guards. The prison guards were extremely abusive and violent towards the prisoners. They beat them, yelled at them, and even humiliated them.
A person who arrived late to work 3 times could be sent to the Gulag for 3 years. Many were sent to the Gulag for up to 25 years for telling an innocent joke about a Communist Party official. A person could be sent to the Gulag for up to 10 years for such petty theft. A person would even be frozen to death, shot, or hung. Most people went on a hunger strike, and if you went on a hunger strike, you would be forcibly fed through a tube stuck up your nostril. Most of the previous punishments were for men. On the other end, women were put into thug cells and they were brutally humiliated and gang raped. Afterward, most victims committed suicide. If women agreed to be sex slaves, they would be let off with easy work.